So remember a long time ago when I came across the fact that I am potentially missing my Helm's Deep minifigures? Well, today I decided to take, I think it's been about an hour now, and just go through the entire Lego room in search of these figures. Still haven't found them. There's one place where I haven't looked yet, and it's inside these white boxes. Could they be inside those white boxes, like the ones on the windowsill that I'm using as risers? Maybe. Am I going to move all those sets to try and get inside those white boxes to have a look? Yes, because that is the only place I have not looked. I have been everywhere. I've torn apart my back rooms. I've looked on top of shelves. I've looked behind sets. I've looked inside castles. I've looked everywhere. I am driving myself crazy. Plus, as I've been making these changes to the Lego room over the last while here, ever since I discovered that those minifigures were missing, I've kept my eye out for them. Or like kept my eye out looking for them. And I haven't stumbled across them. I am just flabbergasted, but I'm gonna have a look in those boxes. Nope, they weren't in there. But when I say I've been everywhere, I mean like I've been everywhere. Through all of those drawers, through all of these drawers, through both of my back rooms, everywhere. I don't get it. Hey, if you have been to my Whatnot streams and you're a regular viewer of those, let me know if I sold them. I can't see me doing that because I still have the Helm's Deep set and I've always wanted to build a large Helm's Deep, and you can't do that without the minifigures. And if I would have sold them, I would have sold them with the Helm's Deep set as a big package. So I don't think I sold them. I guess I just have a ghost in the Lego room. So Mrs. Brixie's out getting a pedicure with the grandmas right now. So I'm babysitting. The number one key to babysitting is just lay on the ground. They will always be happy if you're just laying on the ground. Right, Millie? Right? Ben? He's like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna get up on you here. Come say hello. No, you're not allowed touching that. That's Dad's microphone. That's Dad's microphone. You gonna walk? You show him how you can walk? Ooh. Yeah. What about you, Mil? You gonna walk? Is Dad holding your favorite toy? His phone? You want it, Benjamin? Here, you want it, Mil? Grab it. You want to record me? Here, grab it. Grab it, Ben. No? Okay. It's almost nap time for them, and then I can continue looking for Helm's Deep minifigures. Woo! I'm just kidding. That'll be the end of that. He's out of here. He's like, I'm out of here on my pony. Peace out. Look at the guy, though. Oh! No. Oh! No! I like your blood orange pants, buddy. Look at those pants. Jealous of his top, too. See, this is the number one key to parenting. Just lay here. So I've got a bunch of different Lego projects happening right now in the Lego room, and one of them is actually the Batcave Shadowbox. I don't know if this is actually considered to be a Lego project, but it is a pretty big set that is just chilling on my desk, and I'm like, man, this thing is pretty cool. I need to get this thing built ASAP so I can clear my desk and put it on display with all of the other Batman sets. So we're going to take care of that today in this video. So I was looking for a way to spend my day and I didn't really know what to do. And I'm really happy that I decided to build the Batcave because this build is truly a very enjoyable system build. And I'm about to start instruction manual number 3 and check it out. The wife brought me a latte. Kids are sleeping. And I am enjoying a Batcave build. Whew! So this thing is actually a beauty of a build because it has a lot of different moving functions, and the way that those are constructed are actually quite interesting. Not only does it have that, but it has like this really cool Batmobile, and also the rock work is incredible. The use of the slopes, inverted slopes, and arches and different pieces to create like bat signals within the Batcave, like the logo, I should say, and just like the way it frames all of the different pieces in the Batcave, and also the way that the hinges actually work together so that you can actually open this shadow box. However, with that said, this set has just under 4,000 pieces, and because of that, it has a huge price tag. And a lot of those pieces are actually allocated to creating the actual shadow box of the build. But a lot of the components are actually built into the shadow box, and the front part of it, which actually swings open, once again uses lots of different techniques to create the interesting shape of the bat signal. Whew, and just like that, I finished up instruction manual number 3, and I'm moving on to number 4, which consists of 6 bags. Now this thing is like crazy big, especially when you consider the fact that it sort of has different points of articulation, so working on it was actually rather difficult. That's why I decided to use the tablet instead of the massive instruction manuals that this set comes with. I built this set in 2 days, that's why it was half built when we started this time lapse in this video. I just sort of built it casually when I had time as a Lego builder, but I honestly couldn't put the build down, and that's why I built it in 2 days. My plan originally was just to like build a bag here and there, but the bags just went like so quickly, and it was so satisfying to build because it's like 100% system. Yeah, I'm like really happy with this build. It's actually crazy. Look at all the minifigs. So we get 2 different Batmans. This one here has the cowl that's actually dual molded. That's why you can see like the white eyes. So that's pretty cool. It also comes with the fabric cape, whereas this one here has like the rubberized cape, which is such a epic minifigure accessory. Then of course we've got just standard Bruce Wayne there, also Alfred, and then we've got Catwoman, Max Schreck, and Oswald Cobblepot, or the Penguin. So this thing is like a giant box, and I've decided to put my minifigures on the top there, and you can see that it's topped with like those specialized plates that have like the grills. It's pretty cool. It sort of gives it like the Batcave sort of look, right? And you can like somewhat look into it and see some of the parts beneath, so I like that. And I figured why not display my minifigures on the top of this giant box that has the Batman logo cut out of it. Just so cool, like all of the slopes and the way all that came together to get that perfect shape. It was definitely a very satisfying build. And of course the shadow box can open up. You can see there's a spot right there that you just sort of spread apart, and then there's these grooves right here that lock in place, and then there's a couple points of connection right here on the bottom, so those will just slide into the connecting elements down there, and also the little slot right there, and you can just pull it open like that. And it's crazy, as you saw during the time lapse, like how big this thing becomes, and the points of articulation are just like really cool the way that it can open up like that. I really enjoyed all of this different rock work in here. It's really neat how it sort of builds up and then sort of like inverts and starts going with the shape of the Batcave cutout. You've got some of these elements in here and some lights, and then of course some bats hanging from it. And it's pretty neat because the center portion where the Batmobile actually is can actually hinge as well. So this thing can open right up. Like it takes a huge amount of space on your desk when you open it up like this, and it just expands to be very, very, very large. So you've got the parking spot for the Batmobile. The Batmobile looks pretty slick. I did go over this in detail in my first video when I started building this here. That's why it's a little bit more of a casual review, because I've already talked about some of this stuff. I really liked this. It was neat the way that this symbol, like you built one half of it and you put it in there. You can see there's an arch and a tile, and then you sort of mirrored it and put it on the other side, and then you framed it or cased it in there with all of those odd shaped plates. That was really neat. I like the black backdrop and the gray or the dark gray foreground on it. So that's pretty cool. This has like a weird flat spot, but that's just so that this can actually hinge and go in there. You can see how those hinges sort of pull the whole thing together. Yeah. Then we've got like this vault right here that has some bat gadgets, and there's some really cool functions on the back. You just spin the knobs. There's some yellow knobs on the back, and that's what actually triggers the functions to work. And that was just a really neat build because these doors are both being controlled by the same knob, and they move in symmetry, which is very neat. Inside there, we've got some bat gadgets, all sorts of batarangs, and also the battling hook, I'm gonna call it. It's a grappling hook. Pretty neat. We've got some more bats on the top there and some nice rock work that's coming down as well. And then there's this moving function. I can actually put one of the bat suits in there. If I spin the knob on the back, it's gonna pull that open, and then you'll be able to see the bat suit through the little hole there. Specifically that one there with the dual molded cowl, because it comes with the trans blue head that you can put in there. It's like a placeholder. There you go. Yeah, got that bat suit all sealed in there. It's pretty epic, hey? Pretty neat little play feature. We've got the ladder coming down. Of course, it doesn't actually go to the top, but it's just sort of symbolizes the fact that there would be a ladder going up there. There's some nice like dimension here. You can see the back wall is actually black, but then we have some interesting shapes that are created using slopes. And then there's, of course, like those little drill elements everywhere and the cones that just sort of give it that bat cave sort of feel. I went over this in detail the other day when I started building this, but of course I can spin one of the yellow knobs on the back and these computer screens can actually change. But I showcased how that was actually sealed in there and sort of went through the building process of that and some of these computers as well in that video. And then down here we just have some tools that are mounted to these walls right here, which are built using masonry bricks. So yeah, I was really glad that I was able to finish this today. Such a great way to spend the day. The build did go really fast just because it's all system work and you can build system so quickly. Like there's not a whole lot of technique involved other than some of the structure up top here. I just find that it goes so much quicker. What's it getting caught on? Oh, I forgot about Batman's head there. I just find that system building just goes so quick. Compared to like Technic. There's also a light brick down here, which I forgot to point out actually. To tell you the truth, I completely forgot that that was there. So there you go. You can see that there's all sorts of different parts that were used here. So we got masonry bricks, black bricks, well, I guess just mainly bricks and panels. Now all of the yellow knobs are the ones that actually create those functions or like power those functions in the interior, and the black knobs on the corners are just there. So I think you can like lay this thing on its back or maybe press it up against a wall. Not sure what the purpose of the black knobs are, but let's check out what that light is doing. Yeah, see? Lights up the suit there, which is pretty neat. Actually, you know, I think those black knobs are like so that you can actually lay this thing down. There's one other function here. If we wanted to remove the Batmobile, we can actually lift this door up right here, and that's actually going to lock in place. There's like some rubber elements in the interior, and then when I push this down, it's going to come slamming down just like that. Now the Batmobile, you can just take it out by opening it up and pulling it out, or of course you can pull it out just like that. There is one element that I removed from the Batmobile, and it's actually in this little spot right here, tucked away, and that's the flame. So I can add that to the back of the Batmobile if we so choose. Yeah, there we go. Now I've got the flames on the Batmobile. Also, it can deploy its forward-facing machine guns just like that there. And with the Batmobile removed, there's no loose components in this set. So as I mentioned, there's additional knobs on the corners, right? So I could literally, I think, just lay this thing down like that and nothing's going to move around. So it's pretty cool how they decided to add those knobs in the corner, so you do have the option of doing this if you wanted to like look down at it for whatever reason that might be. But I think they wanted to do that for that specific reason, or maybe now when you press it up against a wall, you know it's flush. But either way, it just sort of adds to the functionality of this set. But yeah, I think that's really about it. I know a lot of people weren't a huge fan of this. I can't say that it's like my favorite set of all time, but I think they achieved something that has never really been done with Lego. I appreciate the Shadowbox sort of take on it. I love the layers and all of the like system work that was done to create like the Shadowbox effect, and also like, you know, the bat signal like above the Batmobile and also from the exterior, I think looks phenomenal. And when you build this it is just like super satisfying. I'm a system builder that enjoys building things like this and things like modular buildings, anything having to do with Lego bricks. And I think this is one of the better system builds that I have taken on in quite some time. I mean, I guess I've done Rivendell, which is an incredible system build as well. There's just been so many good Lego sets coming out recently, but this was definitely a good one. I think it's quite expensive, right? Like it's 550 Canadian dollars or 500 Canadian dollars, and it has just under 4,000 pieces. So the price is definitely a factor, but there's a lot of huge pieces, and this would actually be like a really good parts pack when you think about that, just based on how many like slopes and inverted slopes and unique pieces are in this set. So I've decided to move my Viking village, and I put it on the top shelf right beside Vincent van Gogh, the Mandalorian helmet, and also the El Dorado Fortress. And by moving that set, I was able to open up a shelf on my Batman display. Unfortunately, that shelf is on the bottom of the display. But now that I think about it, I might be able to fit it up top there. There might not be the height clearance, but it might look pretty cool up top because it has like the cutout of the Batman logo, right? Being above the bat wing, it might make sense. It is on the bottom shelf right here, but that's not too bad because now we have the Batcave Shadowbox beside the classic TV Batcave, so it sort of makes sense. All right, now that I'm done with that set, it's time to move on to a completely different project, and that is adding some slope details to my Winter Village mountain, which is actually Santa Claus's mountain. The other day I built the base structure for it, and it needs some details. So I'm actually going to be doing that today because why not? Moving on to a completely different project. It sort of makes sense, but not really in this video, but oh well. I'm just trying to conquer some projects here in the Lego room. So I've actually been filming this video over multiple days. I've still got the same kids, but it's a different day and they're a little bit grumpier today. Millie, what are you doing? You are having a lot of fun. But check it out. Different day, different latte. Wow, that is quite the toy you got going on there, Mel. Wow. What do you think, Benny? You gonna join the fun, bud? He thinks that she is funny as well. So 3 hours and hundreds of parts later, this is the new and improved snow-covered mountain. So mainly what I did here is just add a whole bunch of the dark gray slopes, and then I topped some of those dark gray slopes with white slopes, and also the 1x1 modified plates with the downward facing tooth, some of these rounded pieces which represent snow, and then there's also some cheese slopes. So you've got the lower ridge here. It's all nicely done. Same with this here. I really like these corner elements. Just so many slopes packed onto that. The mid ridge and then the two-tiered top ridge. It looks like some of these need to be pushed down a little bit more, I guess, now that I have a little look at it here through the lens of a camera. But it definitely transformed quite well. Here we have two of those IKEA boxes. This is one of the large ones, and then this is a stack of two large ones. So the IKEA boxes are two, like the large ones are two of the rock panels tall. So in total, this is 4 of the rock panels tall. And the rock panels are 6 bricks tall, so that is 24 bricks tall. Now there is one section of this mountain that I'm not too happy with, but I guess it doesn't look too bad. That's this section right here. Because I only had 6 studs of depth to work with, so it is a little bit vertical. So there's a lot more flat faces here. And unfortunately, I didn't have enough of the tall inverted slopes in light gray, in dark gray, or in white. So I was unable to texture this as much as I had wanted to. But I still think with the addition of the snow and the slopes that I do have in my inventory, I was able to transform it pretty nicely there, and I think it looks pretty good. So here's a look at it before. I took some before photos, just a couple of them here. And here it is after. What a difference all those parts make. I still need to decide what I'm going to do on the tops here, what kind of details I'm going to add, like snow detail, whether it be more white plate, and more like texture, right? Maybe a continuation of the rocks on top of the boxes, and that is the same for all of the layers. But I also need to decide what I'm going to do with these buildings and if I'm going to add any additional structures. For example, I do have another elf clubhouse. I could use the parts from that to expand something up here and maybe have like a shed or some sort of garage, I guess, for Santa's sleigh. I think that would be a pretty neat story. And then, of course, I need to add minifigures and just more texture in general to the top of the mountain. But my main goal today was to add the texture to the sides of the mountain and sort of blend in some of those rock panels, and I think I achieved that goal. So look at that. We've got a textured mountain for Santa and also the Batcave built, reviewed, and placed here in the Lego room. I would say that is a pretty successful couple days, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on by. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff, and have yourselves a fantastic day. Farewell.